Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It is Friday, January 17th, 2025. I returned from the American Meteorological Society meeting in New Orleans this past week. We do have a lot of changes coming in the weather with a little bit of rain on the East Coast, but then some snow and then some frigid cold air on the way. And we also have a little update for you for the All Hazardous Consortium Sensitive Information Sharing Environment on the California wildfires and some of the safety issues that are preventing re-entry back into some of the neighborhoods. Well, first, let's take a look at the latest GOES satellite image. You can see the nighttime coming. That is the terminator line. We see that all the time whenever I do late afternoon updates here on the East Coast. It's a little bit after 5 o'clock, about 5:30 or so, 5:32 I see. But you can see some clear skies along the southeast. This is a batch of rain that's going to be moving from the southeast to the northeast. And we have warmer temperatures in the mid-Atlantic here. So it's likely to be some rain showers during the day on Saturday with temperatures in the 40s. But you can still see snow on the ground. This is snow reflecting the sunlight back in this visible satellite sector. So we have this storm that's going to move through. Not really causing much of an issue at all, but we do have another one that's going to form on Sunday, and that's going to cause some additional slipperiness and some nuisance snows all the way up into New England, maybe more than nuisance snows on Sunday. Winter storm watches have been issued to the north and west of Washington and Baltimore. But a little bit further to the west, there's a lot of cold air that's building up in Canada right now, and that's going to be visiting all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Frigid temperatures are on the way. I'll show you that in the model forecast when we take a look at the temperatures there, and you can see those sea surface temperatures all along the coast. Very, very cold surface temperatures. Let's take a look out west. I'm going to take this full screen. I'll show you what it looks like. This is the whole CONUS, they say. That's the continental United States, even down towards the Caribbean. Look at Cuba and Jamaica and Haiti and Puerto Rico here. Beautiful weather, a little bit breezy, but still wonderful weather for the beaches there in Puerto Rico, even over towards the Yucatan, Cozumel, Cancun, those areas. Very nice weather right now. We do have a subtropical jet stream that's going to be kicking up quite a bit of storminess coming over the next several days and into next week. You can see that right here in the high, thin cirrus clouds that are streaming this way. That's the subtropical jet stream. And there's even not much in the way of atmospheric rivers heading towards the west coast. That's great news. Let's take a look at the western satellite. It hasn't updated. It's a little bit dated, but what I can point out here is the lack of big storms that are headed for the west coast. That is really good because with the wildfires in Southern California, there are very large burn scars in California. And that means that there's a chance of mud flows and debris flows if atmospheric rivers were coming into the west coast there. And I'm going to show you those burn scars on GeoCollaborate. The good news is no atmospheric rivers coming in, but this is why we're concerned with that. This is Southern California. You can see Los Angeles right in here. Here's the Palisades fire burn scar. That's the fire perimeter. Look at that. And then here is the Eaton fire burn scar. I'll zoom in a little bit more. This is the one that's impacted Pasadena. Many folks there without homes now, even threatened Mount Wilson at a time as well. But whenever these burn scars get so large, these fire perimeters, concern rises very, very quickly. Whenever rain falls, it means that there's nothing really to hold that rain back as it comes down the mountains and goes into the valleys and into the residential areas. So there's a lot of concern in Southern California for when any atmospheric rivers may impact California. But here's what it looks like. Look at this. There's nothing headed for California right now. And as a matter of fact, I can show you the forecast for the atmospheric river here. Take a look. Remember this? I show this periodically. This is for the areas where the wildfires have been burning all around to the east of Malibu and over towards Pasadena and into also San Fernando, just northwest of San Fernando there too. But the good thing is, look how low the probabilities are for anything. No atmospheric rivers are forecast all the way through 12Z on January 24th. So that's well into next week. That is terrific news. Look at that. No atmospheric rivers. That's why these are all white. So no news is good news. That's for sure. I do want to point something out, though, on GeoCollaborate here as far as Southern California goes, and that is this tan area. I'll widen out just a little bit more, and you can see that tan area here. This is a fire weather watch. What does that mean? Fire weather watch is issued when those Santa Ana winds are expected to pick up again, and they are during the day Monday all the way through Tuesday till about midnight. There's a good chance that the Santa Ana winds will pick up winds gusting 40 to 60 miles per hour in this area of Southern California. That means that should any fires develop, remember, a fire weather watch is not that fires are going to develop. It's letting you know that if a fire develops, a wildfire, then it has a good chance of spreading rapidly. So they're not predicting any fires starting, but the fire weather watch is basically saying conditions are going to be favorable, that if a fire develops, it could spread rapidly. Humidities will be low and winds will be high. Even to the northwest here, you can see this area here. This is for cold temperatures, a freeze warning in effect. Look at that for the west coast, even including Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo, a freeze watch, and up to the north, a frost advisory. So cold temperatures not only impacting parts of California, they're going to be also impacting much of the nation over the next 5 to 6 days. You can see what's going on for the watches, warnings, and advisories around the country. There are a lot up here in the upper Midwest. These are cold weather advisories, the light blue that you see here, and in the dark blue, wind advisories. So think about that for a second. You combine the wind with the cold temperatures, and that produces extremely low wind chill indexes. Why do we care about wind chill indexes? Well, a wind chill index of 25 degrees or below, of 25 degrees below zero or colder, can freeze exposed flesh. So that means you don't want to be outside if the wind chills are 25 degrees below zero or lower. And this is what's going to happen up in the Dakotas here. Look at this. Extreme cold warnings, winter weather advisories, and cold weather advisories in effect up here. These cold temperatures, we're talking 20 degrees below zero actual temperature with wind chills that could reach minus 30 to minus 40 degrees. So that's why we talk about wind chill indexes. That feels like temperature because of minus 25 can freeze exposed flesh. That can kill you, folks, if you're not protected. You got to have your face protected and all that sort of stuff. There's some light snow expected along the Colorado Rockies. As a matter of fact, it has been, and it's going to increase in intensity in some locations. Let me take you out to the ski resort out there to Steamboat Springs. Look at that! It plenty of snow in the Colorado Rockies there at Steamboat. But look at this forecast. This forecast right now is for temperatures below zero, But look at that temperature on Sunday, or that's Sunday. Temperatures getting down to well below zero. I think that's like 19 degrees below zero. Let me see, 14 degrees below zero Sunday night, 24 degrees below zero on Saturday night expected in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, where we're looking at live. Lots of folks are skiing, but they are bundled up, and chance of snow showers and perhaps some accumulating snow during most of that time period. Out towards the, show you GeoCollaborate full screen here, towards the East Coast, we have cold advisories that are being issued as well. And let me just show you there. That's what these light blue, extreme cold watch. Temperatures are likely next week, starting Sunday night, to get down below zero in parts of western Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and even parts of southwestern Virginia as well. And this blue area here, we can zoom in on this. This is a winter storm watch that's been issued by the National Weather Service for Sunday, late Saturday night in parts of Virginia, on into Sunday, and Sunday night into New England, for a rapidly developing low pressure system. And it looks like 4 inches of snow or more are likely in this area. Some areas could get 6 inches, maybe even some localized 7 inches of snow. This will disrupt critical infrastructure, roads, highways, bridges there. It doesn't look like we'll have any big blizzard on our hands, but definitely a nuisance snow of 4 to 6 inches expected here, and maybe up into Massachusetts. Western Massachusetts could see a snow accumulation 7, 8, perhaps 9 inches locally as this low pressure system develops. We'll see strong winds too along the coastline as this low pressure moves up. Once that moves out and through, cold air is really going to dominate throughout the country. And that is something that I want to show you here in the model forecast. I'm going to show you that. Let's take a look at that right now. Here is the GFS forecast. I'm not going to go through all these different models. You can watch your local weathercast for something like that. But I just want to show you and what's happening. This is just an area of showers right now, showers and rain. Some cold snow and cold air to the north over the Great Lakes. This is going to join together. I'm going to advance this a little bit, and you can see the precipitation field expands Saturday morning. But it kind of falls apart. It looks like it's going to be too warm for any snow in the mid-Atlantic on Saturday. But look at this big high-pressure system in Canada. It is going to be pushing down frigid temperatures all the way well into the Gulf of Mexico, all along the Gulf Coast. And that is going to prime the pump, as they say, for another winter storm that's going to be coming around midweek next week. But as far as we're concerned, on Saturday, some rain and some light snow showers moving through Pennsylvania and parts of New England as well. Looks like even rain in coastal Maine because of the warm temperatures coming up ahead of that low pressure system. But watch here. This is Sunday morning. About 7 in the morning, we have a developing low pressure system in western North Carolina, and it's already kicking out moisture in the form of snow showers in the elevations of West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, southwestern Virginia. May start as a little bit of rain on Sunday morning, but then that cold air comes in and it turns this into snow. And look at this. This is moderate to perhaps heavy snow for a period of time. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday in the mid-Atlantic. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, even down into western Maryland. Wisp Ski Resort, going to see a lot of snow falling as well this weekend. As a matter of fact, let me just take you on a quick take a look out there at Wisp Ski Resort. The sun is setting. It's starting to get dark. But there still are some people skiing the slopes. And you can see as we pan around with the camera, lots of snow in western Maryland and people coming off the mountain because it's going to close soon as it gets dark. But take a look at this forecast for the Wisp Ski Resort. Look at this. Extreme cold temperatures are likely at Wisp, and temperatures there, look at this. That I have to look over. High of 20 degrees on Sunday and only with a low of 2 degrees below zero and 7 degrees below zero Monday night. So it's really going to get bitterly cold out there. If you're headed out to do any sort of recreation in the mountains with skiing, make sure you bundle up, get your hand warmers, get any sort of extra heavy gloves and scarves. It's going to be very cold. Also have supplies in your car in case you run off the road or you get stuck. You want to make sure you have some of those materials in your car. Snacks, you want to have extra clothes, and you want to make sure your cell phone is charged. There's quite a bit you can have to protect yourself. Look at that, the light's just coming on there out at Wisp Ski Resort. Now let's go back to the models here, because this is what it looks like Sunday afternoon around 2 o'clock. But then even after 2 o'clock, this is about 8 o'clock at night, it's still snowing, and snowing pretty good, at a pretty good rate, maybe ½ inch of snow per hour in this area. So we're looking at an accumulation of about 4 to 6 inches of snow in many areas in the mid-Atlantic. We may see those winter weather advisories or winter storm watches extend a little further to the south and east to include the metro areas of Baltimore and Washington. We'll see what happens there. Then this low wraps up off the coast of New Jersey and New York, Long Island, and then some heavy periods of snow Sunday night into Monday morning. Look at this. It's snow along the Maine coastline now and throughout much of New England. So a quick hit of some pretty intense snow. Some areas perhaps seeing 7 to 9 inches of snow up towards New England, western Massachusetts. But here's the thing. The cold air is going to be in place here now after this system passes all the way through the deep south. This is where we're very concerned about impacts to critical infrastructure due to cold temperatures, due to potential ice falling, freezing rain and sleet, and also snow. And I'm going to take this and advance this a little bit further for you, because you can see during the day on Tuesday, this is Tuesday morning, you can see mixed precipitation breaking out in Texas, rain along the immediate southeast Texas coastline, but we do have cold air in place. So watch how this system evolves. I won't get into a lot of details now because I'll have other updates coming in the next several days here. But you can see that, look at this, ice and snow is forecast for Louisiana, perhaps ice and maybe some accumulating ice and snow, even as far south as New Orleans. The snow might be heavier in Georgia, south of Atlanta. You can see this happening here. Look at all this in Alabama and Mississippi here. We might be dealing with possibly some heavy snow in central Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama might be dealing with some snow and ice mixed. Watch your local broadcast meteorologists, as you normally do, for really frequent updates. This is just a look at where critical infrastructure may be impacted. This is Tuesday night, and then starting to snow moving into South Carolina and even coastal North Carolina on into Wednesday. See, as this storm develops, even some of the snow getting as far north as perhaps Maryland and Washington, D.C. I don't expect too much there. But again, we're out at a 108-hour forecast, so a bit of fantasy land here. We'll be watching as the days go on, as these models refine the track of the storm that hasn't even developed yet. But look at this. This could really impact coastal South Carolina, coastal Georgia, coastal North Carolina with snow. It's not unprecedented, but it certainly is a rare occurrence here as this storm really wraps up off the coast. High pressure sticking in over Pennsylvania will act to force that precipitation east, but we'll watch. If this high pressure system weakens at all, it could allow more of the precipitation to move up the coast There is a little bit of uncertainty there, but I would recommend those in the All Hazards Consortium in Southeast Texas, all of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, even the panhandle of Florida. We might be talking winter storm impacts, and we do have the winter storm severity index, but that only goes out to 3 days, so it won't catch this particular storm. And so that's the way the model forecast looks. I do want to talk a little bit about the wildfires in California and about reentry. We were on a telecon this morning with the All Hazards Consortium and the Sensitive Information Sharing Environment. I want to talk about some of the reasons why reentry into some of the wildfire stricken areas, those neighborhoods, is not possible as of yet. There are many hazardous chemicals in the homes that have burned. And when you burn those hazardous chemicals, each residence has to be tested to make sure that it's safe for residents to come back in and do re-entry into the neighborhoods and see what they can gather and what they can collect. But that could be very dangerous. Also, there could be burning trees underground. Those roots for big trees, large trees, if they are still burning, they could create what's called ash pits. And ash pits are totally invisible to you when you're walking on the ground, but you could be walking along your yard. All of a sudden you hit an ash pit, you fall down into that pit, and the roots of the trees are still burning. They could be smoldering, and then you put your hands down to catch yourself, and you could get serious burns, very serious burns from that happening. So that's one of the reasons. Also regarding water safety notices. I know many of you in Southern California may have received do not drink notices. That's not the same as boil water notices. Do not drink notice means do not consume the water, period. Any attempt to treat or boil or freeze or filter or add chlorine to the water will not make it safe to drink. So if you hear a notice that says do not drink, it means do not consume it at all, period. And there's a reason for that. There's waterline contamination that could happen. Ash, smoke, soot, and other debris and gases get sucked in to the water piping network, and that's what causes additional contamination. This comes from Andrew Welton, a Purdue University engineering professor. And when you receive those notices, just stay away. Do not use that water at all for drinking. You do not want to do that. So there we go. Now we're just looking at the severe storm severity index over the next 1 to 3 days. So you can see it's expected that there could be some serious impacts in southern Pennsylvania and northern Maryland here, even down into the mountains of West Virginia. So minor impacts in yellow, but when you get into orange, hazardous driving conditions are likely in this area, even up towards New England over the next 1 to 3 days. So we're really focusing in here on Sunday. This looks like driving conditions could be hazardous in parts of southern Pennsylvania. Also, we'll have some lake effect snow. And then up here in the North Dakota, western Minnesota areas, it's going to be frigid cold with blowing snow, reducing visibility, and very, very cold temperatures. That's up here in western Minnesota and eastern North Dakota, even in parts of south central North Dakota. And then I showed you a little bit of Steamboat Ski Resort. That's out here in the mountains. But even in and around Denver and Boulder, Colorado, and the foothills, some hazardous driving conditions due to snow in that area. Nothing really of concern out towards the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, down through Oregon, and into California. At some of the higher elevations, there are some hazardous driving conditions that are likely, but nothing here down to the south in Southern California. So that's the way it looks right now. This has been an update for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment. And we share this information to private sector liaisons so they can share information with the private sector owner and operators. We're all working on the same page. This is just a situational awareness update utilizing GeoCollaborate and other sources as well. So please have yourself a safe Friday evening. We do have big changes in the weather coming, particularly after Sunday when the cold air really comes down into the middle part of the country, all the way to the Gulf Coast and to the East Coast as well. Frigid temperatures. Many areas will be below zero. Wind chills definitely below zero as far south as the Gulf Coast states. So that's it for right now. We'll be back tomorrow with another brief update. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. Please take care of yourself, and please also watch out for your neighbors. They do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.